Hey guys, it's Rando, and welcome back to another Building the Deadmau5 Cube episode. I want to thank you all for the continued support on these episodes. I really appreciate it. As well, you should go check out my socials in the link below, my Instagram and Twitter, for news and updates. Yeah, I made some changes from last episode, notably with the back, just a little bit. And you can see these pieces around, and I'll talk about those later. But anyways, I changed the back wall a bit, so it is actually one stud closer to the stairs. And I think it looks a lot better, because I had it jutting out one brick, which was a little bit too much, so I just decided to push it in a little from the last look. So I think that works better, and I think it makes the stairs look nicer as well. Another thing I did was I tiled up this back part, so it looks a little bit more clean. You're not seeing the colors show through as much, other than like these little cracks. But like, there's not too much I can do about that. And I think within reason, I think it's done pretty well. I also put these little support things here, and they're not actually supporting anything, but they're on the official model or the official cube, and I'll just make this bigger. So yeah, you can see these bars, and I wanted to do that on the model, so yeah, they're there. And I think they look pretty good. They're not as blocky as the real ones, but I think if I actually used like plates to do it, then it would look too big. So I think this is a fine compromise, and I think they look good. For this episode, we're going to be doing just what's on this platform. So as you can see in the image, it's really just a table and some stuff underneath it, as well as the speakers underneath here, which you can see. There's really not too much, and then there's also a chair. So there's not too much to do in this episode. I've actually already started on the table, since I kind of went through a bunch of different ideas in my head, and I decided what would be best is if I do a brick table instead of a plate table. Now the reason why I'm doing it with bricks is that I think it just looks a little bit more accurate, because it's a round table, and it's got an arch going around the inside, and I just had a hard time getting that right with plates, so I did it in bricks. And even though it's going to be a little bit more bulky, I think it will be a fine compromise. This project is kind of all about compromises and how we can make do with the parts that LEGO provides, and with my own knowledge of the parts as well. And then here's just the stands that they're going to be on. So I basically am done this, and then I kept some studs on top to put stuff on. Okay, now these are on, and then this whole table is actually going to be just connected by two studs, one on the bottom here, and then this one over here. So it's not going to be the strongest table, but you're really not going to be moving it. If this was a real thing, you wouldn't really be moving it. So there you go, it fits pretty nicely, and I think that's actually a pretty good height. I'll have to kind of reference it using a minifigure, but actually I'm going to change these to gray. Okay, that's better. Some of the last stuff we're going to do is the stuff on the bottom, and I know this is going to be a much shorter episode, and then the next episode is going to be longer, because we're going to be doing the actual back, the big LED wall at the back. But yeah, we're just going to do some stuff on the bottom here. Now you can see that on this side, or this side, it seems to be two computers. These don't look like speakers. They look to be two computers. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put these there, because it'll take up a lot of space, as well because the speakers are down underneath the same spots, basically. So I think I'm just going to do the speakers. I think that's a little bit, once again, another compromise, but I think that it will look a little bit better. Now he actually has 4 speakers, if you can see here. You have one here, one over here, and then the same for the other side. So there's 4 for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but we can do them all the same, basically. And actually I'm going to use these pieces, these grill pieces, and I'm going to see what they look like. But I'm going to do them in black. Actually, I think they're... what color are they? Let me see. Yeah, they're basically black. So I'm gonna make those black, and then turn that around, make another one. Actually, I should do that on the studs. But yeah, just put this underneath basically, and that's a speaker. Okay, so I modified the design a little bit more, and I decided that I'm actually gonna make it a little bit smaller than it actually is. I was gonna originally, as you saw, do 2 studs wide, but I'm actually just gonna do 1 stud wide. But as kind of a compromise, I'm gonna put this base plate on, this piece with the stud in the middle. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because this fourth, or these other speakers are kind of angled. So I'm just gonna angle this by like 45 degrees. That's cool, and then I'll just mirror this basically. And those are the speakers. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna do the computer at the bottom because I think that'll just make it look a little bit too bulky. So that's my compromise. And then now he has his stuff on the table, which, like I said, I left some studs for it. In the picture, it looks like he has a laptop and then another screen looking thing. Or this doesn't actually look like a laptop, that's just a monitor, and then there seems to be another screen. Now, I'm gonna take some artistic liberty, and actually I'm just gonna do regular turntable stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I like that, and I think that it'll look a little bit better in my opinion. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. Alright, so here's our simple turntables. I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. Here's the simple turntables. It's just a 2x2 plate, or a 2x2, yeah, 2x2 plate, and then a 2x2 round plate with a hole in it. The reason why I do a hole in it is because it's just kind of to simulate a little bit more detail on the turntable itself, since it's just this. You know, usually there's a little bit more stuff, some buttons, some stuff, but in a 2x2 space, there's not a ton you can do. If it was 2x3, it would be just too big for the table, and it would look way oversized in terms of a minifigure. So we're just going to keep them like that, and then now we have the mixer. I can do a little bit more with that. Alright, so I'm going to use this jumper as kind of like a crossfader thing, and I'm also going to make it black. This whole thing's going to be black. And then I found this printed piece that isn't necessarily very realistic to... actually, can I make this black? Yeah, I can make it black. Okay, so it's not really accurate to what a DJ mixer actually looks like, but it's close enough. It approximates some knobs and buttons, and I think that's really as good as we're gonna get. In terms of that, I just need one modified brick, 2x1, studs on one side, and then I'm gonna remove this so that we can put the mixer on. Alright, so now the mixer and the turntables are on, and there's a little bit of an offset, and at first I didn't really like it, but it's kind of actually growing on me. It kind of looks a little bit more dynamic and detailed, kind of more realistic, and less robotic and structured. So I think I'm actually going to keep it like this. Okay, so finally we're just going to do a chair for the Deadmau5 Cube, so I'm just going to put it on this simple turntable. Probably around there is good. And then we're gonna have to, I'm not gonna use a regular minifigure chair. I think that'll be kind of lazy. Gonna make one myself. Might not look as nice, but it'll be mine, and that's the point. Alright, so I decided I'm gonna use a 2x3, but if I do that, then these studs are just not gonna work. So I have to change that out. And sorry, you guys can't really see this. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of an awkward angle myself, or for me to see myself. But yeah, I'm gonna use just one of the, ooh, I can't use that actually. So there we go. And then we just need a backrest. And I'm gonna make an okay backrest. We're gonna take a modified brick. This piece looks comfy-ish, question mark. And then I'm just gonna take a slope for the end of the couch, or not couch, the chair. And I think that should be fine. I'll have to test out a minifigure, and I'll tell you guys next episode if I make any changes, but I think this is fine. And I'm just going to make everything black, because that's really as close as you're going to get to the colors. I think his chair has a little bit of blue on it, maybe, if it's the one from his home. Oops. But yeah, I think black will do. And if it will allow me to place it... Oh, I still have these studs there. Nice. Take you out. And there we go. And that's the chair. looking pretty good. I might actually just move it up a little bit by 1 plate. So move this backrest up by 1, and then make that black, and then put it back, and there we go. And that's our chair, and now he can sit down and DJ and do all his stuff. And yeah, I think that is it for this episode. We got actually not a lot done, but I think we got some important stuff done. We got the table, the chair, the speakers underneath. I think it's been a productive day. Well, guys, thank you for watching this episode. The cube is finally done, or 99% done. Now it is just time for the stage itself, which is going to be in the next coming episodes, so look out for that. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said at the start, remember to check my socials down in the description below, my Instagram and Twitter, for new updates and all that cool stuff. I'll see you all in the next episode.